Alrighty, and Max here. I just recently finished watching The Rehearsal on HBO Max. Now, before I say anything about it, or even tell you what it's about, go watch it. I freaking swear, dude, if you even watch another second without watching that freaking masterfully made show, I'm gonna freak out, man. I'm being serious. Every second that you don't watch The Rehearsal and watch this video, another Warner Bros. Employee gets laid off. Are you happy? Discovery's acquisition of HBO is now your fault. Alright, now that you've watched The Rehearsal, I want to talk about it. I don't really know where to start. This feels like the type of media that only comes around maybe once a year. Something I like so much I can't even really fully understand why or describe it. This show and Nathan Fielder himself are just genius. It's like Synecdoche, New York, but funny on purpose. Anyway, Nathan Fielder's show, The Rehearsal, should need no explanation, because you watched it already. But you may not know the man himself. His previous magnum opus with the title of Nathan for You was the show where Nathan would often go to struggling businesses and suggest insane ideas on how to raise them back up to success. Like an accelerated cleaning service with 40 maids cleaning at one time. Then, a lot of the time, his business ideas are just small funny moments, like when he had a child speak for him on a job interview.
Do you like skateboarding?
Do you like skateboarding?
No, I don't like skateboarding, but I asked you a question.
Can we move on?
Can we move on?
But sometimes, they actually work. Like when Nathan rebranded a coffee place to be called Dumb Starbucks. Going viral, everyone was convinced it was some hierarchy created by a mastermind like the likes of Banksy. Little did they know it was a mastermind the likes of Nathan. The Reality Comedy Docuseries focuses on a lot of comedy that comes from real people interacting with Nathan's deadpan, awkward demeanor, tied with his ridiculous ideas. Nathan is able to give such a crazy idea like relabeling a coffee shop to Dumb Starbucks because he has such a serious and confident delivery into what he's saying you can't help but take it seriously. Which is somewhat the idea of the child interview. Can he nail a job interview purely off of confidence?
No.
But maybe?
No.
Which leads to The Rehearsal. The idea of fearing the unplanned, chaotic nature of life can be avoided by carefully and meticulously going through every outcome. It's something that starts out in a similar way to Nathan for You. It comes in the guise of Nathan helping others, and the comedy comes out in the ridiculousness of each strange person being themselves. But when I watched the first episode, it felt different. The comedy was definitely there, but Nathan felt a little different himself. He started showing emotion. Not to say Nathan is a robot in real life, but for the most part, Nathan for You was Nathan trying not to break character. Here we see something different. At the end of episode 1, something almost genuine happens. Nathan can't bring himself to tell Core he helped him cheat. He helped Core have this major breakthrough, and he seems so happy that Nathan can't bring himself to ruin that for this overall nice and innocent person. I can't help but think that if this were Nathan for You, he probably would have just told Core. But then moving forward to our next rehearsal, where Nathan gives Angela a simulated family life to see if she really wants it, on the night that she goes on a date, Nathan is left to babysit. And it feels like this is kind of where the turn of the show really starts. Nathan almost seems to have fun with it, and he gets attached to childcare. So when Angela fails to find a dad figure to participate, Nathan is quick to step in. Then going forward to the next rehearsal, he helps a man confront his brother, going above and beyond to make a simulated rehearsal so there would be no hesitation like previously with Core. But halfway through the rehearsal, the participant Patrick just stops showing up, making Nathan feel like a failure. This leads to the next episode and the absence from his family rehearsal to go into the city to study actors who participate in the rehearsal setup. Nathan fully immerses himself into the actors to gain a better understanding of how they feel. All along, he could have just opened up to them and asked them how they feel, but Nathan just doesn't do that. He continues with the extreme charade for what? The sake of comedy? Nathan returns home to his family. Well, the fake family. When he's met with a teenage son that he left at 6. It's kind of a shock to him. But he runs with the idea in the rehearsal. If he's simulating childcare, then he should simulate his absence. Which gets really intense really fast. This pushes Nathan into taking the parenthood rehearsal more seriously. He drops any focus on any other rehearsals to fully become a father to the newly 6 again, Adam. With Nathan's focus on the family, he begins trying to genuinely be a good father, looking after his son, teaching him lessons and values, and this ignites this passion in him of trying to pass on his own family values from his own religious background. He himself gets a newfound love for his background in Judaism, which gets a pushback from Angela. Her being a very set in her ways Christian won't allow for the teaching or even understanding of another religion, which further pushes an emotional response from Nathan. He has to keep the most meaningful connection he has had with his son a secret. Nathan tries to rehearse the possible confrontations that he would have with actor Angela. And before any time we've seen a rehearsal go like this, they go through every possible outcome. We've seen the extremes of it going really well or going really bad, for it to almost always have the positive outcome anyway. But when Nathan is faced with the possible negative outcome with Core in episode 1, he couldn't bring himself to do it. Never knowing what really would have happened, he's now faced with that again. Nathan has something more invested in it this time though. He's willing to face the possibility of a negative outcome to keep the connection he's forming with his son. Fake sounding. And unfortunately, the negative outcome happens, and Angela leaves Nathan all alone in the rehearsal originally meant for her. This doesn't stop him. Nathan is determined to continue, to get something out of this. In the final episode, we see Nathan upgrade from a 6-year-old to a 9-year-old, and Nathan finally realizes the impact the rehearsal has had. First, he has to face one of the young actors with a Christian mom, making Nathan tell the actor to unlearn Jewish teachings that they went through. Nathan thinks nothing of the impact yet, trying to focus on the rehearsal with the 9-year-old Adam, when he's pulled away again, and has to go talk to another child actor. He has to help convince Remy, one of the other 6-year-old actors, to leave, who is sad to say goodbye to the only father figure he's ever had, which to Nathan was only acting. Nathan starts to see the impact the rehearsals have had. Throughout the episode, Nathan slowly turns his attention away from the rehearsal and towards Remy, making sure he's okay. He even breaks the immersion of the family rehearsal to make sure the new 9-year-old Adam is aware of this just being a show, showing Nathan has learned from this. After all, he's felt genuine human interaction and he's broken the cycle. He even has his rehearsal son stop rehearsing to come along and play with Remy to help him feel like he's not alone and to give him more understanding.
Did you get enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, good. Buckle up.
Okay, maybe Nathan's a bad person. I don't know. This is the big debate that has sparked from this show. Nathan is constantly manipulating and affecting people without the true forethought of what it's doing to them. Even when directly faced with the problems he's caused, he still turns it into furthering the show. Or is he? Nathan takes this opportunity to cross-dress. Gain perspective. He's cross-dressing and gaining perspective. Good for him. In talking to Remy's mother, he saw what a true caring parent was, and he wanted to be able to see what she was able to see. And Nathan rigorously replays, not rehearses, but replays everything Remy went through from the perspective of his mother. At first, it might seem like he's doing this to see what she did wrong as his mother, but it's not really to see what she did wrong, but to see what she's doing right, to know from her perspective how she knows her son Remy is going to be okay. So in the final moments of the show, when he has to confront actor Remy as his mother and explain that Nathan, not himself, but more third-person perspective. It's a little confusing. But Nathan's the mom. And as the mother, he has to explain that Nathan isn't really his father. She tells the actor Remy that Nathan just didn't know what he was doing. And he's not that different from you. He's just figuring stuff out and messing up along the way. She says maybe we shouldn't have done that show and shouldn't have had a child do it. She goes on to say mommy isn't perfect and that's okay, and that actor Remy is sad. And that it's okay that actor Remy is sad because it shows that he has heart and he can feel, therefore love. She says life is better with surprises, and then Nathan delivers the final sentiment to actor Remy, saying that he's always going to be there for him and that he's his dad, which makes the child actor break the Remy character charade and ask as himself that I thought you were supposed to be my mom. And Nathan smiles for a moment, returns back to himself, and says, no, I'm your dad. Which, admittedly, was lost on me for a little. But looking at the previous episodes tied with this finale, it's clear to me now. Nathan is helping people to face their fears of social interactions because he himself fears social interaction. And at the end of the first episode, he still fears the risk involved with having a genuine interaction. All the risk was on Core the entire time because this was his life. Nathan didn't have to truly risk anything throughout the entire episode. He even faked a lot of the interactions he had with Core. Then when we get to the second rehearsal, Nathan is easily connected to a baby because, there's no risk in baby upsetting you verbally, it's just a baby. Moving forward to the third rehearsal, he gets so far removed from the emotional connection of it, he pushes the participant Patrick too far, which is what makes Patrick leave. Realizing he is regressing in social understanding, he puts together the acting school to understand how they feel more, but realizes he can't gain an actual understanding from actors who are, acting, which pushes him to become one of the actors. Seemingly, he doesn't get what he truly wanted out of this, and when he finally returns back home to resume making more rehearsals, his immersion's broken there when he realizes his 6-year-old is all grown up to a teenager. At first he tries going along with it, but he resets it to a younger kid, which makes sense since the only thing he was able to comfortably connect to earlier was the baby, which finally brings out his strength to face Angela, no matter the outcome, when he forms the connection with his younger son. And when he fails that relationship, it puts him back into the state of mind of episode 3, when he failed Patrick, which makes him only focus on fatherhood to a young child because they are more easily controlled and he won't fear a negative outcome with them until the worst outcome of the entire show happens to 6-year-old Remy. This leads Nathan into using the Fielder method, which he had previously used as a distraction from his failures and understanding emotion, to now using it to gain understanding and perspective. And it finally clicks when he's using the Fielder method as Remy's mom, and he tells actor Remy it's okay to feel, because in that moment, Mom Nathan wasn't talking to actor Remy, but he was talking to himself. Everything said to actor Remy was what Nathan needed to hear. And when he finally tells him he's going to be there for him, and that he's his dad, Nathan has broken the charade of the rehearsal, realizing his mistakes, and is finally ready to no longer rehearse, to go back to reality as himself. He's ready to be a father, he's ready to feel the emotions he was afraid of, and he's ready to confront people in his fears. He can stop rehearsing. Phew, okay. What a deep dive. I mean, it may seem like a lot, but I really think the show is amazing. And I love the message that isn't immediately clear to everyone. I mean, I don't know. It's such a perfect idea and outcome with a bookend that ties it all together. When it first ended, I thought, well, like, wait, hang on, was that it? But now I know that's truly it. There doesn't need to be anything more. This does feel like maybe I'm looking into something too much, and maybe I'm assigning the meaning and false depth to it, but I can't help but feel like this is what it was meant to mean with how it ended. I mean, I don't know. It makes sense to me. I hope that's what Nathan was going for. And as long as it doesn't get a second season, then my conclusion should be concrete. And, oh no, man, HBO, no!
Thinking that the music isn't good, ain't something looking sure, young, yeah, not the hood. Then you're gonna be realistic, I got pretty keep going. But if we're being honest, the industry is growing, ain't enough room around. Quarantine from the crowd, develop your own sound, make it good, make it loud. Ain't nobody white here, just to be a nuisance, just keep it dreaming, nuisance, and just keep it flows, moving, and I'll need an arm, calling my DMs. I see somebody